According to Deloitte, 94% of executives and 88% of employees believe a strong and healthy workplace culture is an important element to achieve business success. Fostering rapidly evolving teams has historically been done with static tools and by taking a snapshot of someone's performance. OnLoop fosters a strong workplace culture with their artificial intelligence-based team development software that creates dynamic performance reviews with consistent, useful feedback. Projjal, there's no doubt that the pandemic has had an incredible impact on the work-life environment and the workplace environment. Hybrid seems here to stay. So how is OnLoop helping companies build culture in this new workplace environment?
No, thank you, Anthony. I think hybrid has truly changed everything. And what's meant that managers no longer have the visibility that they had on what teams are doing day to day in this new environment. And that means that everybody's a lot more anxious. Everybody's a lot more confused as to whether they're on track or they're working on the right things. And our job as a company is to build that new feedback loop.
Well, not only that, but there's so much stress and anxiety around the time that peers are having to do peer reviews and managers are having to do reviews. And so overcoming that anxiety, that whole month of time where there's just so much productivity loss in the workplace because of that anxiety, that has to be overcome as well.
No, absolutely. And in fact, that's how OnLoop was born in many ways. It was 2018 and I was told by Uber to go run the Philippines business. And I had to calibrate the whole team in 2 weeks. And the whole team sat and wrote these reviews, and that's all they did. But when I walked into the calibration room, I still had to rely on memory. And that meant that despite all of the time and the effort, we still made very biased decisions about our teams. And that's when I realized there was something broken here that needed fixing.
How do you think we can eliminate bias altogether? Is it artificial intelligence that has to enter?
I think that's perfectly eliminating bias is something that's very hard. I think people need to build awareness about where those biases exist.
And the cultural differences that just are there.
Absolutely. And so one word I use a lot is the eloquence bias. And in fact, if you look at diversity of outcomes for certain classes of people, a lot of it exists because some people sound better. And when you don't have good data, the loudest voice or the most visible voice wins. So much of talk in organizations is how do we make ourselves visible versus how do we focus on doing good work? And we want to take that focus away from visibility to people doing good work and then being rewarded for doing good work versus playing politics or playing visibility games.
So how do you make it easy to use and get employee engagement in your tools?
I think at a very simplest level, OnLoop's primarily a mobile app. And every habit-forming product we use is on our phones. It's not tucked away in some clunky enterprise system that takes 10 minutes to load. And 2, we can do a lot more around variable rewards to make sure that the habit of jotting down goals, jotting down your well-being, jotting down feedback is bite-sized, approachable, quick to do, and gives you back insights and rewards that are 10x more than the effort you're putting in.
So getting that feedback in real time.
That's right.
So how would have OnLoop captured those amazing strengths of Uber that enabled it to trailblaze and create a new industry, but at the same time identify and highlight those weaknesses that were so dangerous?
Absolutely. So one thing that often gets said, an overplayed strength is a weakness. And therefore, understanding blind spots and being very aware of them and how to mitigate them are super important. And actually, the language that we've used in verbal feedback or performance reviews in the past does not suss out the behaviors or actually what's going on. And so what we do with our product is help teams draw out the behaviors that might be superpowers,
right,
and conversely draw out the behaviors that might be blind spots, and both bring awareness as well as ways to risk mitigate them. That allows you to catch things much earlier in the process of them having
getting that visibility really early on, just as it's starting to develop.
Which is the same thing in sports or anything else, right? So after every play, a coach is calling what could have gone better the next time. Imagine a football game where there was no feedback that happened throughout the game. And that's just not how high-performance teams are built. And we're trying to bring those same principles into the workplace.